Morning guys, Thomas with Southern Outdoors NC. Alright, here's the deal. As of today, down here at our deer lease, I've had a couple videos from down here, but as of today, our deer lease is no more. Participation fell off. We're going to hit this pond one more time for the last time today. I still got to come back down here and get my deer stands, but as of today, this will be it. I love this pond. It's a great pond to fish. It's got big old crappie in it. Bass, I ain't really caught a big bass, you know, a couple pound, maybe 2.5, something like that, but I ain't really caught nothing monstrous. Guys, hope you stay with me. Hope you enjoy the video. We're on the way down here to the pond right now. As you can kind of see by the surroundings. So hopefully we'll have a good morning fishing. I hope so. Very carefully get in this boat. Alright. I think we got everything in here. Rods and tackle, and the fish out there are busting the water this morning. And hopefully we'll catch some fish. Alright, first thing we're going to start out with is this buzz plug. We're going to try to catch a fish with this thing. Hopefully it'll work. We're going to try it, give it a shot. Guys, we're probably going to be trying a lot of different things today, because I'm not sure, I ain't been down here in a while. I'm not sure what's going to be working. So we're just going to see how it goes. I just want to try some top water here to begin with, see if I can catch a fish on this buzz plug. But we're just going to see how it goes. I'm also going to be talking to you about a few things. There's a few things I want to talk to you about today. A very, very important topic is bait presentation, a lure presentation in the water. How many baits are there out there? 20,000, 50,000? There's tons of baits. But it's very important that whatever bait you're trying to use, whether it's top water, whether it's a swim bait, a jig, whatever it may be, you know, that bait that you're trying to throw out there in the water, all this bait is a hunk of plastic. That's it. Plastic of some kind. Now if you're using live, that's a little different story, but you need to learn bait presentation or lure presentation the right way. And what I mean by that, guys, is whenever I try to throw this bait out in the water, but one thing to try to do, if all possible, is whenever you cast, use your finger or your thumb. If you're using a bait caster, use your thumb to slow that line down once that bait hits the water. Because once that bait hits the water, it's going to make a splash. And depending on how you cast it, depending on how you present it in the water, that's going to make a difference. Whether you get that bite or not. If it makes a big splash in the water, it may scare the fish off. And not to say it's always going to do that, but sometimes it could do that. That's the first point I want to make is in this, what I want to talk to you about is bait and lure presentation is casting. Try to get that bait to hit the water with as less commotion as possible. That's what I always try to do. I mean, it don't always happen. I always make a foul up cast or something like that, you know, at times, but there are times that happens. But you want to try to get your bait in the water with as less disturbance as possible. Alright, buzz plug ain't working this morning, I don't believe. At least it ain't right yet. Let's go with a swim bait. Now another thing, and I just want to talk to you about a few baits that cover a lot of topic. Swim baits. This is a man's swim bait. I use this down the coast, but I want to try it here. I've got some other baits in my tackle box I'm going to try here in a little bit. But you need to, once this thing hits the water, not to say you just can't reel it in and it work, but whatever the manufacturer has for this bait, I would try to follow it to some extent. I mean, you can't always go by that because, you know, I don't work things the way every manufacturer of the baits I use. I don't always follow that. But I mean, you can't, if you're gonna make a bait, if you're gonna have a bait go through the water, you know, you just don't want to reel it real fast. That's, you know, that's not good bait presentation. Now if you're using a, oh, I had one there. Now if you're using a buzz bait or something that you're supposed to use where you reel it fast, yeah, I mean, that's a different story. But for the most part, you know, learn good bait presentation. Jigs, prime example. Plastic worm is prime example. How many ways is it to work a plastic worm? Tons. But depending on the situation, however you're trying to fish, learn the bait presentation that's working for, there's a lot of moss in the water, for whatever it is you're trying to catch. And change it up. Always try to change it up. I mean, what I may think might work whenever I first get out here, there's a good chance it may not work. I mean, that's just the reality of it. These fish are not biting too good this morning. Grass is thick on the bottom. I mean thick. Oops. See, that was terrible bait presentation. I may have to go weightless worm. Try that. Cause an open hook is not going to work very well down here this morning, I don't believe. Cause there's so much grass on the bottom of this pond right now. Every cast, I'm getting a lot of grass. This is a pretty shallow pond. It's not very deep. Alright guys, I've got a fluke rigged on. I'm gonna try this. Like I told you this morning, I don't know what they're biting on this down here right now. I can't tell you. But I got this rig weightless. I'm gonna give this a shot and see how this works. This is a prime example of lure presentation with this thing. This is something you don't want to just reel through the water real quick. This is more of a suspending jerk bait type bait. You know, I reel it a little bit and I'll jerk it a few times. Let it kind of sink down. Because a lot of times, whenever it starts to sink, that's when you're going to get your bite. That's just another prime example of lure presentation. You need to know how to work your bait to some extent whenever you're using your bait. I mean, that ain't gonna always be the case, but that's what you're gonna strive to do. There's one. Finally. Oh, he's a decent little bass. Decent little bass. Nothing big, but I'll take that thing in a heartbeat. This, unfortunately, guys, this is not a bad bass for down here so far that I've caught. I ain't got to fish it a whole lot, and unfortunately this is going to be the last time I get to fish it. But there it is. What I basically did on that is I just threw it out there and just worked it in slow. You know, jerking it a little bit, and I felt a little tap, just like on a regular worm, and a regular weightless worm. I see my line going off to the right just a little bit, and that's when I knew it was time to set the hook. Basically what I got, guys, is I rigged this thing just like a regular worm on the top. There's a little split place in the back on these super flukes, these Zoom super flukes, and you just take your number 4 hook, worm hook. I use a straight shank. You can use the wide gap if you want, but I just prefer the straight shank. See where it's going to go through at, and then just try to get in there. Don't keep catching everything. Try to get just as centered up, going back through that thing as you can. and that was off center. Once you get it centered up, going through the middle of it, and I take and skin hook it. Just barely skin hook it, so that bass don't feel that hook. Because if the bass feels the hook, he may spit it right back out. So let's see if we can't catch another one. Evidently they're out here kind of in the middle. If you just reel this thing in, you probably won't catch anything. That's what I'm talking about with lure presentation. You need to have good lure presentation whenever, like I said, it don't matter what you're fishing. That's a live bait or whatever. You're trying to get that bait to be something that bass wants. Whether it's a crawfish, whether it's, you know, you're working a spinnerbait and you going and reeling it through the water, and you want it to, and you're trying to get it to imitate the bait fish that it wants. Now, a while ago, just to be clear, I did not hardly feel that fish. I mean, it was just a little tap. It wasn't much. All right, guys, gonna use my little bait here, little KVD 1.5. It always works good down here. And give it a shot and see how this thing works. We'll have to reel it slow to keep it out of the grass, but I don't think he hit it on top of the water. That's the power of the KVD. Trying to go right by that log right there and see if I can pick that fish up. Bass ain't wanting to play no more. There. Ooh, one nailed it. I mean, he nailed it. I guess he got a face full of hooks and he didn't want it no more. There it is. It's a pretty decent one. I thought it was. That may have been a crappie. I don't know. I have to look back at slow-mo and see. This one hit as soon as it hit the water. Pretty decent little bass. A pretty good little bass for this pond. Oh, there. They hit hard, but then they die out. Got it foul hooked in the side of the body. Guys, the KVD is heating up. I mean, this is a small one. Yeah, I grant you it's not big, but I'm basically just out here in the middle of the pond. Another one. Oh, was one. Alright, guys, I'm I'm just about gonna call it a day. You're probably wondering what this is, and I'll show you. This is my little Ruger SR22. Good little gun. Good little gun. It's what I use to come down here on deer land. It's my snake charmer gun, because we do have rattlesnakes down here. So that's what that is. Keep right there in my little holster. And by the way, I do have my carry concealed, so here in North Carolina. So I'll carry that with me while I'm down here, which I have a 9mm in my truck too. Little SR9 Ruger. That's a good little gun. These little guns are accurate. I'm gonna tell you, very accurate. I know some of you may have been wondering what that was, what kind of gun it was. Well, I wear it while I'm down here. You just never know. Guys, fish really ain't biting today. So I am going to go back to the house. I've got a honey-do list I got to try to work on. Fish really ain't biting today. I've caught a few, hung a few, tried a lot of different baits. The fish just ain't cooperating, so I've got things at the house that gotta get done. So I'm going back to the house, and I appreciate y'all watching the video. Getting ready to go back to the coast here in a couple of weeks. Hopefully get some footage there. You just never know. Fishing is fishing. That's not catching. So, and she's a bass just busted up there. Guys, thanks for watching, and till next time, take care. Say goodbye to the fishing hole. It's a beautiful pond, good fish in it. There wasn't really biting too much today, but there is some good fish in there. I hate to let her go. I ain't got no choice, I can't afford it by myself.